Well, hello, my lovelies. We are getting extra cheesy today, and for good reason. One, because cheese is amazing. I've been watching cheese documentaries, so you can tell by my last video I mentioned cheese too. But if you're new to this channel, we are doing a three-card pool reading. That is why I'm holding these amazing, glorious cards. There's a reason, I swear. But to get started, I want you to know this is a confirmation for the topic. It is to get us started. If you want to skip ahead, you don't feel called to the reading, just skip like 2 or 3 minutes. But, anyways, so the power of your voice, babe, the power of your voice is the topic. Obviously, it's the title of the video, but I really want to get deep into this because there have been some very, very damaging contradictions to what we've been taught by society, and a lot of us have been silenced over these years, especially with everything going on. Now, I'm going to try not to say the C word, too many times today, just because I don't want to get triggered on the algorithms, because that does get you quite silenced lately. So these days, so I don't know, speaks volumes if you ask me. But anyway, so the Queen of Swords energy. This is your superpower, by the way. I mentioned this morning on my Facebook. The power of your voice is your superpower. It is literally what moves mountains. It paves waves. It destroys and demolishes old foundations and creates new ones. And if you don't understand that, you will by the end of this video. I promise you. That is my mission today. And to also go along with that is the blended pleasure. Now, I do want you to keep in mind, because your voice can damage, it can also be your downfall. So you have to speak with integrity, moral integrity more than anything, but you also have to have like real consensus when you come to conclusions, when you want to speak up, when you want your voice to be heard. You have to speak with conviction. You have to understand the words that you are speaking to others, because this will be very important. It is the most important part of your voice, because if you want people to listen to you, you have to do the research. You have to be embedded and believe in the things that you speak about, because if you don't, you will be questioned. And when you are questioned and you don't have answers, or you just are almost essentially dumbfounded by the question, you will have doubters. And of course, that will come with, if you believe in your voice as well. But it is very important to have a foundation with what you speak on, because it is important to actually stand by those moral values, to stand by what you preach. Practice what you preach, basically. I mean, how many times have you heard that? I know it sounds cheesy, but it's important. You know that it's important. It is the foundation for everything that we have created, although it has been damaged by many people, but we'll get into that later. Now, the Ace of Pentacles. This is the manifestation. This is your power. This is you holding the power of moral integrity, but also just being able to really create. This is your creation power, the Ace of Pentacles. It means you are capable of creating something really beautiful just by speaking your voice. And now that I have gotten the cards out of the way, now really I want you to know that you may have had a lot of doubts, and this is going to hopefully clear up a lot of emotional triggers, childhood trauma that you have been silenced, in your youth more than anything. Like when we go into school, we have all of these we have not necessarily social credit systems, but they are very important. Don't get me wrong, because grades are important. We don't want to get rid of those foundations at all. That's not what I'm trying to say. But we have like these we always had groups. We had clusters of people, which is very great for individualism, and it allows you to really understand who you want to become when you grow older, when you go around all of these social communities within your school. and you get to understand how other people operate, how other people socialize, and what their moral values are. Like, how many times, I don't know if I was a teenage dirtbag, baby. I was hanging out with the bad kids. I hung out with the bad kids, I hung out with the nerds, I hung out with a lot of different creatures because I was a socialite. I was an introvert, but I was also a socialite. It was strange. It was a very strange way to grow up. But I liked different people. I liked to be a part of different systems. I liked to be a part of different communities. More than anything, I really liked to learn, and that came with me trying new things and experiencing different things. I was a nerd in school. I liked to have my grades up, but it was really important to understand different people and how they socially interact, and what their foundation for belief system were, because we didn't really talk about that a whole lot when we were in school. We were kind of taught to be not necessarily silent creatures but docile creatures, and we were there to learn what other people were willing to teach us. And a lot of us will have mixed views and mixed answers for certain aspects of school systems, the education system, because we grew up with either teachers that silenced us and didn't believe in the work that we did, whether that be a school project or, our grades. Because a lot of us, and we're learning this really, I think, more. I'm not a psychologist, so don't quote me, but there are a lot more studies on the psychological aspects of like personality traits. Like, they're different personality types, and just because you're not great at one thing doesn't mean you're not going to be great at something else. And so when we have like this foundation, this system, and it's very basic, it's very it's very I won't say biased, but it does have like a sense of like, this is how things are, this is how it needs to be. And when you really see that and you aren't really great at it, or you have some flaws within trying to learn those types of things, whether it be, computers, technology, art, creativity, that sort of thing, or just being a sociable person, like we get kind of like almost cornered. Like, there's not like we grow this sort of pessimism from having these belief systems thrown at us from other people, even if they're not necessarily thrown at you, like, and you're just kind of surrounded by it, and nobody's here to really tell you that you are capable of something. Whether your parents aren't completely there in your education. Like, you may have your parents or you may not have your parents, and it's just like they're not really, they're not really telling you that you are capable of more, or they're kind of judging you based off of like your grades and stuff. So a lot of that can really have some trauma attached to it that really makes it difficult to branch out of that belief system. And so it becomes this cycle, this toxic loop of pessimism, where you don't really feel like you're able to fit in through adulthood. Like, we grow up as children learning that, if you're not here doing these sort of things and living by this sort of standard, then you're going to fail, basically. And it was the most incredibly harmful lie that we have ever been told, because things have changed so fast over the last few years, just with technology alone, the economy, and just the way we operate. I mean, you can literally be on Facebook and put slime together as a kid and create a small business and a flourishing, like, I don't know how long that will really last, like, economy wise. Hopefully not too long, because I don't know what the environmental factors are, but we're not going to get into that. I will get deep into that if I do start doing that. But no, like, it's very, very, like, it puts perspective into you when you can see that these kids are capable of flourishing off of like slime and just something really small. Just even talking and being like, on Instagram and being a voice. Like, their voice is literally, because they're putting themselves out there, making content, making videos, making posts, just typing on their computer half of the time. It's like they have this outreach, they have followers that they have grown. They didn't grow those overnight. It can be intimidating seeing this online when you're just looking at somebody's profile and they look like amazing. They have these cute pictures, they have all of this like beautiful colors, this branding, and it's intimidating. It's like, what, how am I ever supposed to live up to that? Well, I can tell you, your authenticity is your second superpower, because when people see that you are authentic, you're not creating this like Kim Kardashian. I don't mean to insult people, but I will. When you're playing this like this actor mode, people can feel it. Like whenever you, okay, so prime example, when you see those staged videos where it's like, oh, I caught my ex cheating, I'm going to turn the his assistant's underwear into an omelet and make him eat it, sort of thing. Yeah, that I watched that one. But like, you know what I mean? Like, they're cringy to watch because you can see how like they're terrible actors. They really are. They're the worst actors. It is so awful. I would rather watch that new Adam Sandler movie. I promise. I used to love Adam Sandler. I really did, but not anymore. But I'm not trying to be a hater, but like, you know what I mean? They're cringy because it's bad acting. You can tell when somebody is being fake. That is the point that I'm trying to make. Like, you can tell when somebody's being fake and when they have this character that they're portraying towards you. Now, even then, like, I know that I get perky and I get my voice up, and I'm trying to really bring these points to you guys. So it's really important to have tone and grammar structure, and be able to speak with like conviction. However, like when you're lying to yourself more than anything, and when you're lying to other people, people are going to catch on to that. So your authenticity is very important because it allows you to, one, speak your truth, and people can see that truth coming in. They can read into energy. People are empaths. Whether you believe in empathy or, that sort of connection of energy where you can really like mirror back somebody's personality and what they're trying to tell you, like you really kind of like peel off a lot of layers, and that can come from your subconscious, whether you are like in tune with that or not. Like, you can see and feel when somebody is not being integral. So you have to understand that, it's important to be real, be honest with yourself, and be honest with other people as most as you can. Obviously, that's going to be perspective based because we all have our own opinions in life, and it's important to have opinions, your own separate individualistic opinion on lots of topics, because having these debates, having these important debates, and allowing our freedoms to flourish is how community structures are formed. It's how society is formed. It is the foundation for how we have created the world around us. Now, yes, there have been a lot of conflictions with, the way the country, the US is where I'm speaking from. So, there's a lot of moral confliction with how things were developed, and that's not really the topic. But it's important to be honest about how and where we came from, but also understand that you are not a victim, because we are not here for victimhood. And I don't want to iterate this too much, because again, it's not the topic of the video. But I was watching this documentary, and it was very important to me. If you really want to know the documentary, I'll tell you in the comments, or you can message me on my social media. My links are down below. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button while you're at it. But like, there's a lot of importance to really understanding where we came from as a society and as individuals. But it's also very important to really reach beyond that as well, and understand that we are not our past. This comes with anything. This isn't just society. This is just us as individuals. It's important to reflect on your past, but not live by your past, because your past is what created you. It's what made you strong, but it does not define you. The things that you've gone through, your experiences, your traumas, maybe you were a victim at a period of your time. Now, we are not going to disregard that. That is not the point. That is not the focus. But it is important to move past that and understand that you are much more than what happened to you. You are much more than what people have told you you are. You are much, much more than that. You would not be here if you were not. And I truly, strongly, strongly believe that, because we all have this beautiful place in the universe, and when we start to reflect on that and we see how we are connected, like me and my best friend, we have very similar names. We have such similar past. We have such similar history. I mean, we were friends for like ever, but you know what I mean? Like, we have a lot of personality that is very similar, but also very different in a lot of ways too. And I've always really loved that about us and our connection, because it allowed me to really like learn more about myself and who I wanted to structure myself to be, how I wanted to present myself to the universe, to the world, to the people around me, and how I wanted to love myself. Yes, she taught me self love, believe it or not. She's gone through a lot of things. She was a very powerful creature. I am going to mention her in this video. I won't mention her name because I didn't ask her. But you know what I mean? Like, it's very important to understand that these connections really are what make us. We learn through each other, and we learn from the communities around us. And like, you can see, just like, okay, there's a lot of bad toxic things about TikTok. I'm not going to boost TikTok. I'm not going to boast it up, but there's some beautiful videos. There's some beautiful content creators on TikTok who literally go around and create abundance from their content creation. So they get their viewers to really like boost them up, give them money, support them, and then they go out of their way to help and support families. This is the most beautiful process of content creation I have ever witnessed. And if things like that are possible, literally creating income flow out of nowhere, and then also being able to give back to your community, if that's not amazing to you, then I don't know what will be amazing to you. But it's important to understand that the power of your voice, being able to speak in front of a camera, you don't even have to be beautiful. I am not that great looking, I promise you. There's flaws within all of us. There are beautiful things about each and every one of us, but we are never going to be perfect. And if perfection is your ideology, if perfection is what you need to be in order to create, you're never going to get up to par with your expectations, because your expectations of perfectionism may not be realistic. They may just be, completely worthless. I hate to say that, but they really will. Because, think about the things that you tell yourself when you are feeling down, when you're feeling like, pessimistic, when you're not feeling your complete worth. We all have those days. I will be a beautiful, flourishing person one day, and then I will be and it's funny too, because I'll be in my goth mode, I swear, and I will be beautiful, black, and you would expect me to be like, pessimistic and just awful to be around and just like hate the world. But no, that's not what I'm like. This is usually when I'm blossoming the most. I know it's strange, but I'm a strange person. And when I'm colorful is actually when I need to uplift myself. So I wear bright colors, I put on a beautiful like eyeshadows and colors and stuff, and I try to uplift my mood, and it gets me going. It gets me in the mood. It really changes my perspective for the day, and it changes my attitude for the day when I make myself go in and put my makeup on. I go for a jog in the morning. Usually I go and jog, and then I come back and get ready and stuff. I don't suggest jogging and wearing foundation. It's not fun. But you know what I mean? It's important to understand that these things are a part of our attitude towards life. I don't know, like we were talking about the power of your voice, but these things, they coincide with the power of your voice, because when you look past all the trauma, when you look past the pessimism, when you look past the doubt, you really start to believe in yourself, and you start to make great content. And then you get feedback from people online when you finally decide to put yourself out there and speak your voice. When you speak your voice and create content and you allow people to see who you are. Okay, so this is okay, I love art. I'm an artist. I love art so much. I don't know if you can see all the things behind me, but I'm totally into art. That is something that is very important to me. And when you see art online, it is one thing, but when you see the artist and you start become like personal with the artist, when there's like the most influential artists that I've ever met are people who speak to their community, talk to their community, who are authentic. I have this I want to remember his name. He's very I think I've creeped him out a little bit trying to hit him up. But like I've really tried to reach out to him because he is like very influential in my life because he's an artist, and he speaks his mind. He talks about very important topics, and when he's feeling down, he's honest with his community, and he goes into his workshop and he creates work. He creates art, these beautiful sculptures. I'll tag him down there too so you guys can see him. I'm trying to remember his name. It's just not coming to mind. I have a lot of different artists that I follow, but he is just one in particular. But there are other people out there too. There are other artists out there that I follow, and they speak to their community. They're personal with their community. They show people the process of their work, and then they talk to people. They're personal, and I don't know what my cats are doing. Sorry. Sorry about that. My cat knocked his bowl over on the floor. So I'm gonna try to cut this short or cut this off because I don't want to speak. We're way past the 20. I don't think we're way past, but we're past the 20-minute mark. I want you guys to really reflect on this video, and I want you to take it to heart because I am trying to tell you that you can be influential just because you feel like you may be like the stranger, the weirdo, or the different person, the black sheep of your family. That is actually ideal, like I won't say idealistic, but is very important in society right now because so many people are trying to be the same. They see all of these celebrities, they see all of these people online, and they want to be this person. They want to be an Instagram model. They want to be this specific type of person because they've seen it online and they're like, wow. It's almost like, okay, so it's almost like imposter syndrome. I can't tell you the specific details. I don't want to get too into that. But like you feel like you're not yourself, and there's really important reason for that because you're trying to be somebody else. You're trying to be somebody that you are not. And so that will reflect back towards you like through other people, but more than anything, it's going to make you unhappy. So being yourself, being the stranger, being the weirdo. I've seen some weird content online, and it's really cute and bubbly and fun. Like yeah, I could go on for like ever. I have a lot of weird interests, but I'm just saying, like, just because it seems strange to you or to other people, like, doesn't mean it's gonna be strange to everybody. Like, I watch people who identify mushrooms and plants and stuff, and that is the most interesting. And it's not gonna be interesting for everybody, but it's interesting to me. And that's my point is just because it doesn't seem some way doesn't mean that it is some way. Just your thoughts can be not true. I know, it's strange, but it's true. It's true because it's not true. Something like that. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Again, I'm cutting it short, or cutting it off, I should say. And yeah, I hope you guys really, really take this into consideration. If you're a content creator or you're aspiring to be a content creator, do it. Just put the work in, even if you don't see it happen overnight. I also heard this today. I'll end it with this one. Growth is not a straight up line. It is a zigzag. It is a fluctuation of energy. So remember that when you are having your downs, when you're having your slow moments in your small business, don't give up. Believe in yourself. Bye.